Hi, my name is Milton Brown, and I am the founder and CEO of Terian Consulting Financial Solutions. Welcome to another episode of Versus. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I hear a lot about, the forming of LLCs, and that's the best form that you should use when you're trying to set up a business. And what I want to talk to you about today is another option, an option that provides you with what I perceive to be much greater benefit, much greater flexibility, much greater protection, and even provide you with better tax advantages. Okay? So let's talk about an LLC. When you have an LLC, first of all, you have to go and file it with your state department. Or in Illinois, we have the Illinois Department of Illinois Secretary of State that we file it with, right? So your LLC, you file with the Secretary of State. You have to file your annual report every year and pay that fee. When you also have the LLC, you used to have to worry about the Corporate Transparency Act, which is now is like suspended or voluntary because there's a lawsuit right now contesting whether that's legal or not. But you can if you want to. We don't know if that's going to still hold up in court. Then you also have the issue when it comes to privacy. Now, a lot of people think that your assets and you can be private with an LLC. However, you must have on your LLC documents your managing members, or you must have, the individuals that's running the LLC. So if you choose to use your personal name, you no longer have anonymity and people know who owns that LLC. In terms of asset protection, we tend to think because of the name LLC, Limited Liability Corporation, that your liability is limited to the amount that you have invested inside the corporation. For example, if it's you and four of your friends or three of your friends form an LLC, now each one of you own 25%. So if the company were to ever become sued, you are only responsible for 25%, and the other is divided amongst the rest of your partners. Here's the challenge, however. People don't understand how easily it is for an attorney to pierce the corporate veil. Now, the corporate veil is just that. It's the veil that protects your assets, and therefore, if someone were to try to sue you, then they can only get what's inside of the corporation. However, if you do not maintain your corporate minutes correctly, if you commingle your funds, meaning you decide, I'm just going to pay for this out of the corporate account, I'll put it back later, or vice versa, you use your credit card to pay for something and then want to get reimbursed by the company. All of those little small things that unfortunately many people do. I mean, let's keep it 100. I've done it many of times before, okay? It's one of those things that you figure as long as it all adds up in the wash, then it's okay. Those are instances where you have pierced the corporate veil and can allow your personal assets to now become susceptible to lawsuits. So that limited liability corporation is no longer protecting you from any type of lawsuits, anything like that. So the other thing is that when you have an LLC, if you have an LLC here in the state of Illinois where I reside, and I want to do business in Florida, I would have to go and get what is called a foreign entity. I would have to register with the state of Florida as a Florida entity in order for me to do business there. Those are just some of the challenges that you deal with when you have an LLC. Now, when you have a business trust, number one, you do not have to file it with any governmental agency. You do not have to go to the Secretary of State and file it. Okay? A business trust does not have to be filed. Therefore, it does not have an annual report that needs to be submitted each and every year. And because there is no annual report to file, then that means that there's also no fee on an annual basis to maintain your business trust. Now, business trust operates business exactly just like an LLC. It can do everything an LLC can do. It can get credit. It can have business loans. It can get a bank account. It operates just like an LLC without all of the added disadvantages that I just enumerated a moment ago. Okay? But the other thing about it that I love so well is that, as I mentioned, if I wanted to do business in Florida after being registered in Illinois, I can do business in all 50 states, and I do not have to file as a foreign entity in each individual state. By me setting up my business trust here in Illinois, I can do business in all 50 states, and I don't have to register it with each and every one. That prevents me from having to pay those annual fees and do annual reports in each of those states that I chose to operate in. In addition to that, with the business trust, I maintain my anonymity. No one knows who I am. Why? Because I didn't have to file it and register it with anyone. Okay? Now, a business trust does have an EIN number, which is what allows you to get a business checking account, credit, and the like. However, I don't have to put my name or register it with the state so that anyone knows who owns the business trust. You're just conducting business with me as usual. And if I don't tell you it's a business trust, depending on how I choose to name it, you might not even know that you're operating with a business trust. One of the other benefits that I think is humongous is the taxation of a business trust. See, when you have an LLC, the way that it works is, depending on how you pay your taxes, because you can have an S corp or you can have it as a partnership, and I don't want to, confuse you with all of that. But the bottom line is, taxes must be paid by somebody, right? It's a LLC is a flow through entity, so that it just flows and sends the K1 to the owners or whomever. But with a business trust, the business trust will be owned by another financial structure, and that money flows up to that financial structure, by the way, which is also known as a family trust, and therefore you pay no taxes on the business level. The money just flows right through up to the family trust. Now, in another video, we can talk about how the family trust operates and how the family trust receives that income and yet pay no taxes on it. But that's a totally different video. I just want to talk about the difference between a business trust and an LLC. Finally, when it comes to the business trust, you're lawsuit proof because we will hold no assets inside of this business trust. All of our assets will be held in the family trust. So when someone goes and tries to sue a business trust, they will just open up the can and it's empty. There's nothing there. Now, I understand on social media, everyone wants to give you all the sizzle, right? I would love the opportunity to explain this in greater detail and even show you a diagram that draws out how this structure works. But believe me when I say, a business trust definitely is better than having an LLC. Because as I like to tell my clients, what LLC literally stands for is a limited lawsuit coming. Goodbye for now.